Nigerian worsening security crisis deepened at the weekend as bandits launched coordinated attack across the north, adopting monarchs, worshippers, and bride and students, and traveled in the 13 days wave of violence that had claimed at least 490 captives. From Sokoto to Kogi, Kwara to Niger, Brunei, and the Federal Capital Territory, renewed raids have left rural communities traumatized, with residents fleeing their homes and several victims still unaccounted for. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has condemned the attack during the weekend, describing it as direct affront to President Tinubu's recent declaration of a nationwide security emergency. Kuriwa's national coordinator, Emmanuel Nwubike, accused the federal government of lacking urgency and strategy and also the political will to wage a ruthless war on the terrorists. But whether blames are being made and response coming from the IS administration, the basic fact still remains that Nigeria continue to be at the receiving end of this unwarranted and senseless attack, especially coming from the bandits. But well, what needs to be done and what direction should we take as we try to deal with the issue of the raging insecurity that seems to have bedeviled the biggest and largest black nation on the planet? Well, that's what we're looking at today. We're talking about handling the wave of attacks by terrorists in Nigeria. And that's what we are going to look critically, looking at the recent surge in adoptions, attack, and indeed killings that has happened right here in the country in the last 1 month. But to help us talk about it is no other person but political analyst and somebody that is really concerned as it concerns this recent uptick in the wave of violence. And we're talking of no other person but Prince Cogent Uwe. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Deltans. Good morning, Nigeria.
Well, anyway, it's not a good one for Nigeria at the moment. Forgive my language, but the honest truth should be said, with the wave of insecurity that seems to be bedeviling us as a people. But before we dive deep into our discourse, I want us to look at the basics. And the basics all Nigerians are asking for is, in your own honest assessment, why is there an uptick of violence? Yeah, we know we've been bedeviled with the issue of terrorism for more than a decade now. But in most recent time, the wave and the intensity of this attack seems to be mind-blowing. In your own assessment, what's happening?
Let's tend to go back and look at history,
okay,
so that we have a better understanding of what is going on.
Yes.
Because we don't come to a conclusion whether we'll know whether this government is doing well or not.
Okay, okay.
This whole thing in 2009, I think so. Yes, into about 2009, there's this underwear bomber.
Okay, yeah.
And it was on a journey to the United States of America. And he plans to blow up the plane. So he was caught.
Yes.
And when he was caught, they said, he's a Nigerian. There was an outrage. Because in Nigeria, they say, we love our lives. We love life. We love to enjoy life. We are happy people.
Yeah.
We don't want to die.
Yes.
So people were saying, are they sure he's a Nigerian? Because Nigerian people will not kill a Nigerian. Will not say he's going to a plane, then
Kill
he's a
himself and
suicide
kill
bomber,
others.
kill himself. And
On account
that
of...
in Nigeria, we love life a lot. And as at that time, by 2009, there was really nothing like banditry, insurgency, violence. The whole country, Nigeria was a peaceful country all over the world. Then that happened. So everybody rose up, we condemned it, and they said they handed him over to the US government.
Where is he now?
Where is he now, serving his term. But by 2010, the Boko Haram sect was taking shape. 2009. But I think Mohammed Yusuf is the founder of that sect. It was a group. It was a group that was saying that they were preaching basically. It's not like they were radicalized or not. They were just preaching their own thing. And as at that time, it was just a small group in Maiduguri, in Borno State. Then something happened. Mohammed Yusuf was arrested, and something happened. He was killed in prison. I think that was what blew everything out of proportion. They became radicalized. And Shekau, I think Abubakar Shekau, took over the group.
And even made it more violent.
Yes, and it became violent. And between that 2010 to 2011, 2012, there were bombings, even in Abuja. The president at that time was President Goodluck Jonathan. It was the insecurity that started at that time that made Jonathan to lose the election.
Yes.
Because in the north, the narrative then, it was all over the place, was Jonathan is a weak president that cannot curtail insurgency. The basic occupation of the north is farming. And basically, I say, the north feeds this country. They farm, they are farmers. They farm, they bring their food to us. They take their food everywhere all over this country. And that was what was going on. Then this insurgency started from the northeast, from the Borno axis.
Yeah.
And it disrupted the farming activities up to today. Food being inexpensive is as a result of insecurity. Now, by 2013, 14, 15, this APC government, a partnership between Muhammadu Buhari's group and the present president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they now came together and they propagated that Jonathan is a weak president, that he cannot secure the country, that they should vote him out. It resonated in the north because they were feeling the brunt of this attack and violence. So they brought General Muhammadu Buhari, who was marketed as a general. And they said as a general, Buhari is a strong general, no-nonsense general, who will flush out the insurgents. So the whole of the north, they queued behind Buhari. And that's how APC came to power in 2015. Because at that time in the north, even in Abuja, you can't walk freely.
Yeah.
Because there was the US bomb,
UN bombing.
The UN bombing, and
The
there was
Yanyan
bombing and all of that. So the whole place, the northerners, they were scared. So Buhari came to power. Now, when Buhari came to power, they said he's a general, he understands warfare, he understands everything about all of these, that this insurgents will just be a matter of time and they will all be gone. But unfortunately, that did not happen. The insurgency was still there. Now, something else also happened. By the time Buhari came to power from 2015, another form of insurgency came into play. The fight between the herders and the farmers. The fight for resources. Herders, they carry their cattle, they move from place to place to feed, to eat grass, to drink water. So they are always on the lookout for such places. Especially in the north central, Benue, Plateau, Kogi, there were always violence, fights. The herders, they will move into communities, especially in Benue, and they will kill people. Even right here in Delta State.
Yeah, we saw pockets.
Apart from all of that, even looking for resources to cater for their animals, they also took up kidnapping. And it became a big challenge. Then all of that. But one thing we saw was that even the General Buhari, the insurgency was still there.
Yeah.
They were still attacked.
And there's a feeling that it even grew more under his reign.
No, not that
it took seed.
Not that it grew more. Something happened again. You see, I've talked about the northeast, where insurgency itself, Boko Haram started
Gave root.
from. then the header farmers class in the North Central. Now, banditry started from the northwest, from the Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi axis. We didn't know what was banditry. All of a sudden, they were kidnapping school children, they were attacking, and they said...
But my question, did it not take root during the regime of former or late Muhammadu Buhari? We're talking of that of banditry, because you just gave us a genesis of how all of this started. Boko Haram, yes, many will argue that it started during Yaradua, Yaradua to Jonathan's era. But let's understand a full grip of where banditry now starts. It started during the reign of Buhari and that of farmer headers. Let's put where they are. The
banditry from the northeast escalated to where it is today during Buhari's time. Then the headers, farmers class, the same thing during Buhari's time. Yeah. So now when Tinubu was campaigning, they asked him, what will you do? He said, within how many months, he will take care of the bandits, he will take care of the insurgents, then this...
Which he inherited.
Which he inherited. Yes, he inherited. The headers, farmers class, he also said, I will take care of it. Now, when we were thinking that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come into power, and if you look at what is going on, you can see that there is no clear-cut plan
on ground
to
deal with these issues.
From President Jonathan to President Buhari,
now to
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We thought that, well, Tinubu has seen, he was part of those who used insurgency
as a means of campaign.
As a means of campaign to remove Jonathan. So he should understand it better. He should be more competent and he should show leadership with regards to insurgency and insecurity. But we noticed that as soon as Bola Ahmed took over, kidnapping spiked up in Abuja. As we speak, very few people can connect Kaduna from Abuja through roads. People are scared. Even at a point, I think in 2014 and 2024, the train, which people thought was safe,
also got...
A train was attacked.
Okay, now, I'm sorry to cut you short. Now, you've given us a very clear narrative of how all of this started. Now, I'm now being forced to ask, let's understand the dynamics of what is happening now at the moment.
Okay.
In the present term issue and wave of attacks coming from these marauding terrorists and bandits or whatever you call them.
Okay.
Now, I want us to understand, is it a political agenda that we're having an uptick in the violence? Is it a religious agenda that we're having uptick? Is it more of a criminal approach to grab resources, just like the mining in the north? So does it have an economical narrative? That's why we're having. So let's understand, is it religious, political, economical, or outright criminal, or a combination of all of these factors? That's why we are where we are now. Let's understand.
No, it started as a religious thing, Boko Haram. They said education is bad.
It's haram.
It's haram. It started at that, then it started gaining traction. Now, they also now saw that we can use this to make money. At the time, Boko Haram was controlling certain part of Borno, Oyo,
and we are taxing them.
And they were even paying tax. Their own flags were hoisted in certain local governments.
We had almost 13.
They were in charge. So it was at that point that they said, Jonathan is weak. This can't happen. Nigeria is a sovereign country. We can't have two sovereign entities in one country. So they now saw that they can make money from their activities. And they started making, they will kidnap people, they will pay them. They will tax people, they will have money. And with that, they will buy more funds. Now there's another connection to it. ISWAP, Islamic State of West Africa Province, is a group, if they breakaway group from Boko Haram.
And we've seen others, Ansaru and
all of that. So basically, one, it started as Boko Haram, religious, then it turned to criminal,
financial.
They saw it as a means, as an economic means to have resources to themselves. Then the banditry itself started as an economic crime. Because in certain aspects, in the Northeast, illegal mining
took root.
Yes. Yesterday, the 19 northern governors, they had a meeting and said, look, this is our area, this is our terrain. What is going on? One of the first remarks they made is the federal government should suspend mining. Mining exploration. That illegal mining is fueling this insecurity.
So we've now come to a conclusion that it has a religious and it has an economic undertone.
Politicians now. This is the political angle to it. It's not that the politicians are fueling it or they are the people initiating it. They are taking advantage of the situation. Like when APC took advantage of the situation in 2014, 2015 to throw Jonathan out.
So it's having all of this coloration all
together. Right now, you can see what is going on. I can't blame any politician that is taking advantage of it.
But don't you feel the political class is also fueling the issue? The reason I asked you this, if we take our minds back to August, the former CDS, Christopher Musa, when asked why there seems to be an uptick, he gave us a futuristic approach and belief to all of this. He told us that it's even going to increase because it has a political correlation, knowing that the 2027 elections is fast approaching. So he feels political players, gladiators, are taking street advantage and also fueling the issue. So that brings me to my question again. Do you see a political undertone to the recent surge? Because the reason I'm also asking this is immediately the United States President, Donald Trump, came out to say he's going to have to come to Nigeria and deal with the issues. We saw an uptick. Everybody felt, well, this administration lack the political willpower to deal with the issue. And if they have the US coming on our own soil, it shows incompetence of this very administration. So my question is, the political class not taking advantage and increasing the uptick of this violence?
Like I mentioned earlier, I don't think the politicians are initiating it, but they take advantage of it. That's what I can see clearly. That's what I can see. They are taking every politician. Politics is about interest.
Of course.
It's about interest. If somebody is in government and something is happening, you take advantage of it. You shout about it. You make noise about it. But this is the height of it. Where a foreign government, it has not happened before, where a foreign government is saying that, look, you guys take charge of the situation, or we boot you out. That's the implication of what President Donald Trump is saying. Just that, honestly, I don't understand this Christian genocide. If you ask me, you've asked me before whether it's religious. I trace the history. If you look at all of these from 2010 to now, you cannot really see whether, when you say genocide, it's a deliberate attempt.
But is the killings in the Middle Belt not genocidal? And the reason I asked you this,
no,
we lost, or rather, Delta State lost a major religious leader last week on account of the claimed genocide. Reverend Archie from Isoko, himself and his wife, Venerable Archie, were adopted in Kaduna. He's an archbishop in the Kaduna diocese. He was adopted some couple of weeks back, and only last week, a ransom of 100 million was paid to the bandits, and they still killed him. As we speak, the wife and the daughter is still in the captivity of the bandits. Now, many are asking, is this not a religious undertone? Knowing that on the mining, he paid the 100 million naira ransom, but yet he was killed because he was a reverend.
No, he wasn't killed because he was a reverend. It's not a Christian genocide. It's like what I mentioned before.
Yes.
These bandits, they've seen that they can make money from it. And they've seen that our security structure, our security personnel, we are weak. So they are taking advantage of it.
The weakness.
Yes, of the weakness. Whoever they kidnap, some after negotiating, paying of ransom, they return. Some they still kill. This reverend is not the first person who has been killed
On account of paying ransom.
Yes, it's not. So it's not the clashes in the middle belt, in the north central, has to do with resources. Fight for resources.
Land.
That's the basic thing.
Okay, now, because of time, I want us, because we are progressing in our discussion. Now, I want us to understand another major question Nigerians are asking at the moment.
Okay.
Why are we unable to deal with this? Now, 4 major highlights I want us to look at. Just like I've given you highlights of or reasons why we feel the direction is being taken at the moment. Now, let's understand. Why are we not being able to handle this? Or why, especially this very administration, even after changing, service chiefs on account of this is not able to handle it? Now, sir, is it an issue of lack of intelligence? Is it an issue or lack of equipment and manpower? Is it an issue of lack of political will to deal with this issue? Or is it that our borders are just too massive and porous? Or would you say it's more of our inability as Nigerians to be one? There's an ethnic undertone also to this. So let's understand why we have not been able to handle this thing effectively. Where or what direction is the reason? Or do you feel again it's a combination of all of this?
It is a combination of all of this. But at the top of it, all is something you didn't mention.
Yes, what is that?
Leadership.
Leadership.
I'd
rather call it political. But go ahead.
No, let me explain. Leadership in the sense that our political leaders, they seem obsessed. When I say obsessed, with politics. They play too much politics. You know, after campaigns, you win an election, you are sworn in, either as a governor, House of Assembly member, House of Reps, senator, or the president and vice president. Your responsibility becomes to govern.
Okay.
But what we see basically is they are obsessed with politics. Even a year, by 2024, they were already playing politics. This 2025, they are still playing politics. Every day you see them moving from place to place. One governor is defecting from one party to the other.
We might have 3 governors defect this week, but go ahead.
They are all moving from place to place. Those are times they should use to focus on governance. And we have serious issues, security issues, economic issues. If President Trump has not been the searchlight on our security challenge, I'm sure
will he just be running in circles?
it will just be there. For me, in my own opinion, the government is just sloppy. Let me use that word. I don't want to use a strong word for them, but it's sloppy. Look at it. How come Jonathan, at the end when they attacked Jonathan did something. Jonathan hired mercenaries from South Africa. Yeah. And we
were winning the war.
And before the end of his tenure, funny enough, he cleared these Boko Haram people from that northeast. He was winning the war. Then President Buhari came. He said, no, how can we hire mercenaries? We can't hire
from
mercenaries.
From a certain African country.
From a certain African country. No. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. And they drove away the mercenaries. And the whole thing started back. So I just strongly, all of what you mentioned, they are combined in one form or the other. But the basic thing is leadership. Leadership and focus. With regards to President Mohamed Ahmed Tinubu, you see that he's focused. Because the issue is straightforward. We have a security problem that Jonathan was unable to solve. Buhari, who is a general, was unable to solve. So we said, okay, President Ahmed Tinubu is coming in, he should at least try to do something. But he too didn't. Up to now, I don't see anything tangible. Until now, he's running up and down. He's trying to do something. So I keep asking myself, the question I ask is, why do you expect a Donald Trump, president of US, to be in the searchlight before you start taking all these actions you are taking? You ask yourself.
So would that not be a lack of political will?
No, it's leadership. It's leadership. It's where leadership and focus. Where is the focus of this president is? Where is the focus of this government is? That's why I said they are obsessed with politics.
But don't you feel he put more of his focus on the economy, which is doing better?
No, the economy we will come here to talk about the economy one day. We'll look at I know that.
The indices.
In the indices. They don't lie. We'll come here to look at the economy. So like what I said it's the obsession with politics. When you are too obsessed with politics, everything you are looking at. Because if you are not obsessed with politics, everything you are looking at, you may be focused and decide to take certain action. That action you want to take, you are looking at, if I take this action, it will affect my politics. That's the challenge with this president. Now you ask yourself, the former governor who had just resigned yesterday, Badaru, how can you make Badaru minister for defense? Then minister for state for defense, Matawale, former governor of Zamfara State. Look at that combination. And you think something good will come out of it? Badaru has resigned yesterday, and then we also read that the former CDS, General Christopher Musa, went to the
which is likely going to replace Badaru with our own intel on dialogue. But anyway, we're still putting close tab to see whether that will be a reality. So, and then when that happens, we'll always bring it to your knowledge. But go ahead.
So like I mentioned before, it's too much politics. You govern. If you govern well, like this insecurity challenge we're having now, if this president can take care of insecurity and the Northerners, they feel safe, they will vote for him. By 2027, they will vote for him no matter what their own leaders tell them. Because the major challenge they have is insecurity. They can't live their lives. They can't go to farm. They can't do anything.
But is it not a bet of their inability to understand the dynamic? Is it not a creation of them? Because that's what Nigerians are saying. If you look at what the 19 Northern governors said yesterday, they seem to understand the dynamics. Now, somebody came out just this week to say he would prefer President Bola Ahmed Tinubu not to recontest. And we're talking about Ahmed Baba having an ethnic coloration to say it is a Southerner that is voting. So that brings me back to it. You said that during Jonathan's time, there was this push and feeling that, he was incompetent. And most of the narrative was coming from the North.
Yes.
Don't you feel that is a same approach they are taking under this very administration, making this president look bad of not his inability of handling security?
Now, you can't, you know why I'm reluctant. If you watch, you see that I'm reluctant to say yes. During Jonathan's time, people say, you are incompetent. You could not take care of this. Even we in the South here, some of us, we said it, but it's our brother who said, look at insecurity. He's unable to take care of it. Now, you know why I'm reluctant to really say so? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been in the center with APC. He was a leader of APC. He
was a founding father.
Founding father. In short, he is the major. He is the major. When I say he's the major, he's the one who put everything together. Make sure
CPC,
make sure it
ACN, a branch of the AMPP.
So he has been around. He knew that his own faction, his own group, as at that time, they knew what they did in terms of campaign propaganda to sell the narrative that Jonathan is weak. And that was what pushed Jonathan out of government. Now, when you know, then during Buhari's time, he was also embedded inside Buhari's government. So I feel strongly that he is in a position to deal with this security matter.
if it's having that coloration of making him look bad?
Not even, it doesn't, if by 2023 that he came to power, he took it as focus. You know, I've mentioned focus before. Focus means that you take something, you identify one thing, one or two things that you know that if you work on and succeed, it will change the direction.
Okay. I'll plead with you because of time, because we really do not have time. We've talked about the genesis. We've talked about why it is continuing. Let's now look for solutions, because our discussion would be futile if we do not have a narrative of what solution to take. Now, I want us to start with two major solutions. Yes, Badaru has resigned.
Yes.
Would it be right to replace him with a politician or one of the security architecture? Let's start looking for solutions.
If you ask
Christopher
me,
Musa is there already.
If you ask me, Badaru going is the right step.
Okay.
Is the right move. I don't believe in I resign based on health conditions. The president asked him to leave because if you watch, since Trump beamed the searchlight, the president has been taking certain actions. We declared a state of emergency.
We'll come to that.
Okay. So one, Badaru leaving is good.
Who should be his replacement?
At this point in time, somebody who is experienced, knowledgeable about security architecture, structure, and operations should replace him.
Okay. Not a fellow politician.
No, not at all. Not at this time. But normally, the thing is that is the way our politicians are. You know, I mentioned that our politicians are obsessed with politics.
With governance.
Not governance.
Okay.
Politics.
Politics.
They play too much politics. In advanced countries, in advanced climate, everybody play politics. You see politicians like the same politicians we have funding think tanks, raising funds for think tanks. And these think tanks, they focus on different sectors of the challenges the country have. I'll make an example with Leo Panetta. Leo Panetta was chief of staff to President Bill Clinton. Eventually became Secretary of Defense. No, first of all, he became CIA.
Yeah, director.
CIA director. Then became Secretary of Defense to President Obama. He's a politician. He's a civilian. But he was very competent. Why? He has a group. He has a think tank that does research on insecurity and security issues. So you see politicians in advanced climate, they belong to these groups. So you now see they will pick one of you based on your research, based on your experience
and your knowledge.
And they say, go ahead, so and so. But here, like Badaru now, two-time governor,
Of Jigawa State.
What is his incident?
And Jigawa was never immersed in banditry or all of these religions.
When you look at his class.
But Matawale was.
When you look at his class, that is
2015.
No, 2015 to
2023.
When he left. Was he outstanding in any form? Was he outstanding in any form? As a governor, let's forget about whether he's an expert in this only. As a governor in Jigawa, was he outstanding in any form? Because you see certain governors who are outstanding.
Yeah. Make their mark.
Yes, they make their mark.
Either in business, in the economy,
in investment, in infrastructure. Somebody like Fashola turned Lagos around.
Human capital development.
Human capital development.
Like former Kano State Governor
Kwankwaso. The same thing. Even Wike, whether you hate him or you love him because of his politics. In terms of infrastructure. It's also in terms of infrastructure in Abuja. Whether you hate him, you have to be outstanding. So that when you leave the state level as governor and they are saying you are going to be an appointee at the federal level, people will say,
you're antecedent.
You're antecedent. But what?
Okay, well, anyway, you seem to have gone straight with the answer. Now, we're still looking at solutions.
Yes.
But I want us to look at what is happening now.
Okay.
To look as if it's the right direction we're taking. Now, The 19 other governors sat yesterday
Yes.
and brought out outstanding recommendations. Now, I want us to look at two major recommendations they talked about. The first recommendation, and the first thing they just even mentioned, was put a plug on the exploration or mining activities in the north for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Block it. That's number one. Another major thing that we took away from that very meeting is bringing up the issue of state police, saying the present federal police structure is inadequate in handling insecurity, that they feel some major communities, and we on Dialogue, it's good we say this, anytime we're coming on the show, we do our investigation to follow, so you do not take us out of context. What they are saying is that some communities in the north do not even have any state, federal, or local presence. And that is why some of these marauding bandits are very comfortable and easy to roll into all these places. But if you have the presence of security, either from the state, federal, or local, that might be difficult for these persons to have a grip on the community. So let's look at those two. State police putting a plug on mining activities for 6 months. Will it help as of the present?
It will.
It will.
Yes, it will. It's mining, illegal mining is the fuel that ignites banditry in the northeast. Because what happens is this. In the northeast, there's a lot of illegal mining going on. There are so many minerals in the north. There are so many minerals. You sit down, you wonder, and you ask yourself, how come we are not making so much money from mining? But there are elites who are wealthy, who are rich, that illegally employ people to mine, and they sell and put the money in their pockets. It happens in the north.
Often having foreign collaborators.
Yes, it
I
happens.
don't want to mention some countries, but they are being fingered as also collaborators in all of it.
It happens in the north. Now, the link with this banditry is this. They employ heavy security, indigents, some people from Niger and all that, to guard with guns and all that. They guard, illegally they mine, then they will sell. They see what is going on. All of that money, none enters their own pocket. And they are the security, and they are the people carrying guns.
To better protect these people.
So what happened at the point? They said, no, we want this thing for ourselves.
After acquiring the guns.
Yes. They now have access to guns and all that. We want this thing for ourselves. So they took over some of those mines. That is what is currently going on. They took over some of those mines. These bandits themselves. They turned from there, they turned to bandits. Drove away those other persons. They understood the operations. And they came in charge of the operations. They will sell, then they will go and buy arms.
And better equip themselves.
So one of the major challenges to insecurity in Nigeria is illegal mining. It was a bullseye that the northern governors
struck. But can the federal government put a plug on it?
They have to.
With the architecture, security, lack of cohesion and architecture on the ground, can they put a plug on the ground?
They can. Now, you see what I mentioned earlier. I said we play politics too much. Too much of politics.
So they knew.
They know. See, the president of the country, the intelligence happening in this place we are seated, in this particular environment now, if he wants it,
he gets it.
He gets it. The president knows everything that is going on in this country. But because of politics, we look at it, if I stop this illegal mining, my supporters, will it not affect some of my supporters who may be involved in that illegal mining?
Okay, well, anyway, if you feel state police, then what of state police?
Now, state police. That's why I'm even surprised that it is this issue that is bringing state police to the front burner. The Southwest governors
wanted it.
They had a meeting last week,
yes,
and they said, we want it now. This president, they call him a progressive. Remember, from Abiola's time, 1993, he was a senator.
Yeah.
When June 12 was annulled, what happened?
He was part of the struggle, and he even left the shores of this country.
Left the shore, and he was funding from outside this country. He was a key member. What was one of the things the progressive were asking for?
State police.
Decentralization.
Decentralization.
That was what they were asking for. And in that decentralization, state police was a part of them. But the North said, no way. Now, in 2014, they were, if you remember then, the Western and the Yorubas, they were always saying sovereign national conference.
Yes. They haven't accumulated to the conference.
Yeah, they say sovereign national conference will solve all the problems we have. That if we run a proper federation, the federating units, they are empowered as they should be. That won't have all this problem. That people will not be struggling.
So are you feeling the North are now getting a grip of the idea?
Look at what state police is. Look at what state police is. State police means that they are going to employ, like in Delta State, they employ people from my village, from your village, from your local government. People who know the area.
The terrain.
The terrain. The thing you ask yourself is, what is the strength of the Nigerian police force?
We have only 370,000 with over 100,000 with VIPs, which Mr. President have recalled.
Okay. What is the population of Nigeria?
We have almost 230 million persons. But anyway, let's leave the millions and millions. You've just answered it. Because of time, let's go to another idea that many feel the president has brought that might really end it. He talked about the recruitment of almost 20,000 police force and also the increase in the military force to almost 30,000 recruitment. Would that be beneficial in putting an end to this raging violence?
It will not.
Excuse me.
I said it will not. When you look at the solution, like what I keep saying, like what I've said, don't play too much politics. Focus. Focus on what needs to be done, what will bring an end to what the nasty experience we're having now. Recruiting police for the Nigerian police force will not help us. What will help us is state police. It will not help us. If you increase 20,000 to add to, how many will it be? It won't help us. 20,000 is like, what's that expression? You throw something into an ocean. Ocean, big, expansive.
But what of the recall of those from the VIPs?
100,000 from the VIPs? We are deceiving ourselves. Is this the first time the IG of police has come on air and said, oh, we recall everybody from the VIP? This is December. By end of January, check. Do an investigative check and see where those people they've recalled.
Where they are. If they have even been recalled.
Yes, we are deceiving ourselves. It doesn't work. This is not the first time we've recalled escorts from VIPs. We are deceived. So what basically, the main solution is this. Focus on state police. Okay, that will help us.
Well, anyways, just as you've said, state police, I want us to continue our discussion because we have a breaking information reaching us now.
Okay.
And this is coming from no other but the NSA, saying that as it stands, they've requested support from the United Kingdom, France, and the US, and there's almost a green light for them helping us. Now, brings me to my next question as form of solution. Just last week, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also inaugurated the intervisory body that will be having negotiations with the United States intelligence gathering to help deal with this issue. Sir, should we go to assist or get foreign help to deal with this issue?
We need help. Because from Jonathan to Buhari now to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we can't help ourselves. We don't have the capacity in terms of personnel. We don't have the capacity in terms of equipment. We don't have the capacity to help ourselves. Our military is deteriorating. This Nigerian military in the 90s, in the 80s, was better equipped than how it is now.
Upon the trillions we spend in
No.
10 years, security has taken the largest chunk.
It's deteriorating. And the world is also moving on
A fast pace.
fast pace. These days, warfare is technology. We need help. We don't have those technology. I remember during Buhari's time, Buhari asked for, I think, about 12 attack Tucano, Super Tucano jets.
Which we have.
They bought them, but we have them, but we don't have. Tucano jet use bombs and missiles. We don't have to sponsor missiles. We don't have them. So, like, let me give the example, give a simple story of what the Tucano can do. You remember Osama bin Laden?
Yes.
Osama bin Laden, they tracked him for years to locate where he is in Pakistan.
In Pakistan,
where he
when
was
they
hiding.
took him out.
Yes. They use a Tucano, there's a Tucano jet that will land in where we are now. You won't hear one noise. And the one they use, it flies in the dark. You won't hear anything, you won't see anything. They landed in Osama's compound with that helicopter. Nobody heard the noise, nobody saw nothing. They went into Osama's bedroom, killed him, took him, and threw him into the ocean. So that is what technology can do. We need help. Forget all these ones we are talking there. We are a suffering country. We are this. We need help. Now you saw Nuhu Ribadu leading a delegation to the US. We need help. We should be grateful that President Trump has been the searchlight on this insecurity. Why he did it? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because I try to, why is this man doing this? Maybe for his own politics in his own country.
No, don't you feel the Christian bloc that supported him? And
yes, I think so. Yes, I think so. I think this senator of this California, Ted Cruz. Yes, he's one of those who is at the forefront of this. So he, for his own interest. But the truth of the matter is for him fulfilling his own interest, he's helping us. We need help. I think recently there were reports of this ISR jet, the one that scans.
Going around Nigeria.
Yes. We need technology. That's the only way you can defeat insurgency.
Okay, well, because of time, we have only just 2 more minutes to go. In your own last words, what is the way forward?
The way forward is for the president to be focused. The president should play less politics. The president should focus on this, choose a competent person to lead this war as the Minister for Defense. That's the personnel. They should look at it, because within the army itself, you will see that something is wrong. Because this brigadier that was killed,
yes, Uba.
I think Sani Uba, Brigadier Uba. You will see that something is wrong within the army. There are betrayers inside the armies. The government knows this. So the cleansing should start from inside the army. There was a story that when the Chibok girls were kidnapped, the Americans were coming to help. They had a plan, and they said we are going to gas them. Only for the Americans to fly close to the place, they looked at where these people were. The terrorists were wearing masks. Which means the information got to them. So since then, American has been very careful in working with Nigeria. It's not like when they say equipment, they sold those to Kano jet force. They didn't give us the missiles and all the other things that they can work with. So they are worried, because they feel strongly that there's a lot of compromise inside the military
architecture.
A brigadier general sends a message to the base that look at my location. The terrorist, God wind of it, went to where he is and killed him. Something is wrong. So the president should leave politics. Let him leave politics. He should show leadership on this insecurity issue. Do what is right. Stop thinking about, if I do this, it will affect my votes in the north, some of my supporters. Don't think about that. Focus on what to do. Appoint competent persons who can do this thing. Liaise with the foreign powers that are willing to help you. Then go into the military
and purge.
Because if you don't purge, you are wasting your time. That's why you see that the foreign powers, they are reluctant
to assist
us.
Anyway, I will talk about time, and not we wasting our time, but time is not a friend. We're really done of our time. It has been a very revealing discussion.
Yeah.
And every reason we always enjoy doing this or dialogue We always talk about critical issues always on the front line of the country, and we do not shy away from talking about them. We always enjoy doing it. But like I said, time is not a friend. I need to thank you so much. I'm talking of Chris Kujebue for coming and adding your voice to this raging issue that seems to be in the heart of almost every man, woman in Nigeria. We are feeling the brunt, and everybody is talking about the insecurity. Thank you for bringing your insight, and thank you for at least advising on what needs to be done for us to see, sleep, and feel better. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Nigeria. I'm happy.
Well, anyway, for me, it's a wrap, and I always insist that you should go drop your comments on our different social media platforms. Let's have your intake as it concerns this very discussion. Send us those comments, and what ideas, what direction should this present administration take to deal with the raging insecurity? Well, all of that we'll truly appreciate, and we'll definitely tell you that we'll always enjoy reading your comments when they come. But for me, Michael Gobadia, we'll see how do this come tomorrow. But remember, the news will come soon. As much as trending will trend to the high heavens. God bless you. Have a great time.